We're starting. Hello, everyone. My name is Olga Lyashenko. I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant and head of Canada Immigration Department at Intermark Global. Thank you all for coming to our webinar today. I would like to introduce our speaker for today, Scott Russell. He's managing partner of Canadian startup development company, Amaron Venture, and he will tell you how the program works a bit later. For now, let me tell you a few words about our company first. So our company, Intermark Global, was founded in 1993 under different brand name, and now we have 8 regional head offices already in Russia, Turkey, Indonesia, Thailand, and Dubai. And other offices opened recently. And also we have many offices in different countries like UK, Europe, Asia, and America. Intermark Global has more than 700 partners worldwide, and we work with almost all available programs, immigration programs on the market. We have 2 main departments. We have 2 main departments in our company. So one is real estate investment department. We provide a lot of different investment options for our clients in different countries. And our immigration services provide almost, as I told, mostly all immigration programs like citizenship of European countries, Asian countries, permanent residency by investment, by financial independence, temporary residency, golden visa, citizenship of Caribbean countries, and in Canada, we provide business immigration options, which we will talk about now. So we will talk about Startup Visa Canada. This is a federal business immigration program since 2013. It's a very promising program and worked very well now. And main feature that it leads directly to immigrations to permanent residence. So when you're applying to under Startup Visa program, you will receive your permanent residence papers. What it means residence permit and how different it from citizenship. Actually, you will have same rights and obligation like citizen, but you cannot vote and you don't have passport yet with visa-free entrance to other countries. But you will have all benefits of Canadian society can propose you, and you can live actually for a long time, not even applying for citizenship. Actually, permanent residence doesn't have expiration date, but you have to renew your PR card, permanent resident card, every 5 years. So when you're applying for renewal, you have to prove that you physically accumulate physical presence in the country, not less than 2 years out of last 5 years. So it means that you can stay every 5 months, you can come to the country, or you can stay out of country up to 3 years and then come to the country and stay for 2 more years. It's very flexible requirements, and if you wish to apply for citizenship as soon as possible, you have to accumulate 3 years of physical presence in the country, and then you can apply for citizenship papers. So what is the benefits of Canadian citizenship? Probably you know already, but I will go through. So quality of life, high quality of living, stability, and well-developed country. very efficient legal system and low level of crime and corruption. When you get your citizenship and passport, you will have access to up to 172 countries without needs to apply for visa, including European countries, USA, China, Hong Kong, Australia, Japan. Also, Canada accepts dual citizenship, so you can keep your previous citizenship as well. When you come to the country as permanent resident, you will get free health care for you and for your family, and free school education for your children. Also, if children will apply for colleges and universities, it will be a domestic rate. It's very different from rates for international students. We have excellent colleges and universities, some of them in top 25 at the world, like University of Toronto, British Columbia University, and other. And also you will have access to social system, Canadian social system. Canada proposed many grants, government grants and benefits for housing. For example, when you're buying house for the first time, for education for children, unemployment benefits, and other. Also, you will have access to pension system and multiple different bank accounts related to that. Regarding business development opportunities, when you can get access to multiple loans, government loans, which support small businesses and startups, and this system working very well and attract many people from different countries. Actually, financial opportunities in Canada, one of the most promising in the world for entrepreneurs and businesses. A lot of, how nice nature sites in Canada. Every corner, every province in Canada has its own beauty, and you can choose where you can live. And if you want to live in healthy environment and surrounded by beauty, nature beauties, so this is country exactly what you're looking for. When new immigrants coming to the country, Canadians usually very friendly, and you will adjust very fast. There is a lot of immigrants communities which will help you with adaptation, and will help you with different problems if you have. So a lot of government help provided to new immigrants as well. So as I told that you will have very fast access to Canadian citizenship, just 3 years of physical presence. Comparing with all other countries, it's very, very loyal requirements and very fast way to get citizenship in such a beautiful country. So now we will go for we will talk about startup visa program. So why we decide to go with this program? Because this program have less requirement than any other programs in Canada. A lot of programs in Canada, like provincial nominee or federal express entry programs, they have a lot of requirements for candidates, for applicants, and not everyone can actually fulfill these requirements. If you already established professional or entrepreneur, if you have business or have idea for the business, so startup visa program exactly for you, because it's not requirements for this program is very, very low. I will pass now row of speaker to Scott, and he will explain requirements for this program. And if you have any question, you can ask, you can text actually in message here. We will reply later.
Perfect. All right, thank you, Olga. And yeah, if as I'm speaking there are any questions at all, please put them in the chat, and we can either answer them as we go or answer them at the end. And so I'll try to leave some time at the end for any questions. As Olga said, we are Intermark's business and technology partner in Canada, and so it's I'll talk a bit about the general program, and I'll get a bit more into how it actually works. What are the steps? What are the types of startups that we work with our clients to build, and how does that all work? But importantly, as Olga mentioned briefly, the startup visa program is very unique in Canadian immigration programs. There are many things about it that make it, if not the best, the only really viable program for certain types of people who want to come. One of the main benefit features listed here is that you apply directly for permanent residence, which is unique among programs. And then there's a path to citizenship after 3 years of residence. So it's comparatively a very fast pathway to permanent residency into citizenship in Canada. At a very high level, the startup visa program requires that we work to build an innovative and scalable new company in Canada. And I'll talk a bit more about what innovative and scalable means. But what Canada is really trying to do is bring smart people with resources to try and build new companies in Canada. This program is quite different than other immigration programs. The amount of dollars that need to be invested is lower than PNP programs or other business immigration programs. The timelines are in many cases faster, and application is made directly for permanent residence. So there's a lot of interesting things about this program. There are some requirements, although the list of requirements is a lot less than other immigration programs. So we need to have a startup project, so a startup idea that we're working on that is supported by an accredited group in Canada. And I'll talk a bit more about those in a moment, but in essence, we need to bring them an idea, they need to approve it. And so the government of Canada has said, hey, we don't know what innovative startups are necessarily, so we're going to allow certain groups, these are typically startup incubators, angel investors, and venture capital investors, give their approval of an idea. And when they give that approval, they issue a letter of support, which is a key document that you need to apply for PR. And that letter basically says, yes, we've looked at this idea, we think it has potential, we think it fits the criteria of the program, and therefore you can apply for PR and work on this project. And so the work that we do with our clients and with Intermark, the very first step is to get that approval. There is a language requirement, so we need an IELTS level 5 on average across all categories, which typically we find is very doable. But there's a language requirement, and then there are some items that are really immigration focused. So there are some health requirements, no criminal record. These are questions you can ask to Intermark after about the specifics of those details. And then there are settlement funds required. Typically what the government is looking for is they're thinking to themselves, okay, if you're going to work on the first stage of a startup company in Canada, we need to see that you have enough funds to support yourself and to support the first year of building out that company. And so there are some very basic settlement funds that are needed, and then there is typically being able to show that there is resources on top of that to support building out at least the first year of the business, and we can talk a bit more about that. So program benefits, and we covered these a little bit. Canadian permanent residence, as Olga said, a lot of our clients are typically in the 40 to 65-year-old range. Other programs are not a good fit for them. These are typically people that have had some really good experience. They may own a business. They may be professional. They are usually quite experienced. They may have kids that want to come and go to school in Canada. And by having a PR, it allows them to pay much, much less in tuition fees, which is sometimes one of the motivating factors of Startup Visa. We have clients that are just very interested to build a new business in Canada. We have clients that are, across a wide spectrum of different desires and needs, and Startup Visa is often a very good program to fit all of those needs. A bit, I didn't mention a lot about Amaron just yet, but we've worked with over 200 clients in Startup Visa, and our track record of having ideas accepted and having PRs issued is 100%. That's the reason we work with Intermark, and Intermark works with us. We approach this program the right way because we want our clients to be successful, not only with their business, but in their immigration journey. As I mentioned, citizenship after 3 years. Startup Visa allows up to 5 partners into one company. And so one startup project or one company could be taken forward with from a single investor up to 5, which allows a lot of flexibility in that company. We will typically recommend no more than 3 people in a group, just because we've seen in our experience that when we get into groups of 4 and 5, there's more chance of someone dropping out in the process. But we've worked very successfully with groups between 1 and 5. And so it's a lot of flexibility that's allowed in this program. And then finally, social benefits for the family. Canada has an amazing social benefit system, including free healthcare, education, social support, pension, these things. And so it's a very, very supportive country in that way. So a few things here about the Startup Visa program benefits. Number one is that permanent residence can be achieved even if the startup fails. What the government is really trying to do is give high potential startups a chance in Canada. When we work on a project, typically we are working in the very early stages of new venture development. So we're going from concept to working on a first prototype, working on some product design, customer validation, these types of things. And so the government is not looking to see that a new project has revenue, is commercialized, is profitable before they award the PR. Most of our clients are not even in the market yet with the product when they are awarded their PR. And so it's quite unique because that means that, it can happen where the company may or may not work out later on, but your PR is not affected. You're still able to achieve the PR to come to Canada because the government realizes that startups are inherently risky. And not all startups are going to work. What they want to do is they want to give chances for those companies to work in Canada. The second thing is that relocation can happen prior to permanent residence. Most of our clients will apply for PR and then sometime either shortly after or a few months after apply for a work permit. And so it allows the folks, either some or all of the folks in a group to come on a work permit as soon as we've seen them be issued within 3 to 8 months after application, which means that you can come to Canada and work on your business and be in Canada prior to PR. Most of our clients choose to not relocate full-time until they've achieved their PR, but the work permit and coming and at least visiting Canada during that process shows commitment and engagement to your project, and it's usually seen positively by the government. So, as I said, the typical process would be apply for PR, I guess first get approval of the idea, get the letter of support, apply for PR, and then apply for a work permit. And once the work permit is achieved, to come several times during the process to show the commitment to the project. And then once PR is achieved, to then move full-time to Canada. The third point here on this slide, no formal investment threshold. I just spoke about this a second ago. There is no absolute dollar minimum. So usually it ties into the work that we do in doing financial forecasting, looking at what the business will need to be built over the first couple of years. And as a rule of thumb, typically it's somewhere between $150,000 to $200,000 per person that we need to at least show is available. That money doesn't need to be invested or spent necessarily, not all of it, but the government wants to see that if someone is coming and proposing to build a new company in Canada, that they have some resources to do it. And then no restrictions. So there are no restrictions on age, on income, on education. There's no scoring system. the real crux of it, if I can summarize into one sentence, is that the government wants to, wants to have high potential startups, and they want to see progress being made on them. That's it. They don't need to see successful businesses. They don't need to see, a point system or education or these things. They want to see that people are taking it seriously and actually working on building out the first phase of a business in Canada, and that's where we come in. And that is what they're looking for to award PR, which is why all of our clients to date have been successful in getting their PRs. And we'll jump a bit more into that in a moment here. So here are the stages of a startup visa program. Stage one is everything that leads up to getting the letter of support. Now, Amaron and Intermark, we work primarily with incubators. Incubators are one of the different groups that can issue a letter of support. We prefer incubators because typically they have a lower fee. Typically, they have a higher degree of success in the program. They offer very good support services. We work very closely with them. It's a really good fit. So we have a couple preferred incubators that we work with, and the incubators we work with are also the highest standard, the gold standard of startup visa incubators. So they have very, very high, if not 100% success record with their clients. They've done a lot of startup visa applications. They know what to expect, just like we do. For example, we know exactly the questions that are going to be asked at the end of the process if the government requests an interview as the final step to PR. So there are things that we provide, understanding what happens at each stage of the process. But in stage one, what we are doing in essence is we are pairing our clients with a startup. We are taking that startup to an incubator and getting the approval, and then we are getting the letter of support. And there's a few other setup steps that are included in there. Incorporating a company in Canada for you, that's your new startup company. There are a number of steps in that process, but usually it takes us only about 2 months to do that entire step and get the letter of support, which is the key document that we need to apply for PR. One thing that I will certainly mention about what makes Intermark and Amaron and what we do as Startup Visa different, very different from others, is that we provide the ideas. So we have a team, we're based here in Canada. We have a team that is constantly working with different industries, coming up and finding good problems, creating solutions. And we have at any time between 30 to 50 startup companies ready to go for our clients, which means if you come to Olga and reach out and say, look, I'm interested, we would look at your background and we would likely have right away an idea or several ideas that may fit your background. Others don't do that. They typically require that you bring your own idea for startup visa, and it has to fit the criteria. It has to be innovative. It has to be scalable. It has to be, be able to pass the test. When you work with us, we provide the idea, and we guarantee that the idea will be accepted. Our acceptance rate on our ideas is 100%. If you do have your own idea, we're also happy to review it. But most of our clients will say, look, I have a great background in finance or in construction or in manufacturing or in marketing or food. It really doesn't matter to us. We can work in any industry. We would then look at the background of the person or people, pair you with one of our ideas, and then take that forward to the incubator. So again, stage one is all about getting a letter of support. In stage two, then hand it back over to Intermark for the immigration applications. And that's where the PR is applied for in a variety of those steps. I'm just going to back up for one moment. Then there's also the stage three, which is once you have applied for your PR, once the immigration piece is done, then it comes back to us, and our team would kick off your project and actually begin doing work on your business with you and for you. And so when you work with us, again, you have a dedicated team here in Canada. Our team of venture people, which includes technology people, business people, and so we actually work with you over 18 months to build out the first phase of your business. And that's critically what they're looking to see. They're looking to see that the people are strong, the idea is strong, and then they want to see work being done on the project, on the business over a period of time. And that's what we provide. So our team is going to get engaged. We're going to be doing the heavy lifting. We're going to be doing the work on the project. And you as a client would be involved in reviewing our work, acting as an executive or a founder, joining us on regular progress check-ins, looking at what we're doing, but our team is doing the majority of the work. Just a bit more on the designated organizations. We primarily, as I said, work with business incubators. We find them to be the most effective, the highest chance of success, and the lowest fee option. Again, I kind of skipped ahead with my remarks, but this is the program process. Starts with a consultation and signing of a service contract and paying the deposit. Stage by stage work on a business project, obtaining the letter of support. That's what I just spoke about, being kind of that first major milestone. The third stage works with a business incubator, developing and maintenance of a business project. And that's something we're doing usually over 18 months as we work on the business. The fourth stage, obtaining a work visa and relocation to Canada. Stage 5, collecting, preparing, and sending documents for permanent residence. And 6th is achievement of permanent residence. And so along that path, as we're working on the project, at some point, the government will come and ask for a variety of documents. They're going to ask for immigration-related documents. They're going to ask for business-related documents, things like business plans. What have you been working on? Show us what progress you've made. And at that point, we work very closely with Intermark to gather up all of the necessary documentation to help with responses. And if required at the end of the process, if an interview is requested, we actually do prep with our clients as well on what questions will be asked, how to answer them. And so we are, Amaron is here as your team right from a very first conversation prior to even reviewing a startup concept or idea, all the way through the end of the process. We really want to be here and support our clients at every step of the process. So this is the typical timeline. Startup development and application submission to the designated organization. So this is typically 2 to 4 weeks. This is us reviewing CVs of the team members, suggesting ideas, having some conversations, ensuring that we've explained everything in every step in the process. This also includes selecting and reserving the idea. So once you reserve the idea from us, it becomes your idea, and we don't show it to anyone else. Preparing and passing an interview with the business incubator. Some of these timelines are actually even, we've recently seen even faster than this. We are typically now seeing the entire process from reserving an idea to having the letter of support in your hands at about 6 to 8 weeks. So it can happen very quickly. But yeah, we're going to apply the concept to the incubator, answer any questions, and typically there's a short interview as well that we prepare you for. 3 to 4 days obtaining an invitation from business incubator. So they will approve the idea. They will then send their agreement for signature. We would do the same. 1 week obtaining the letter of support. So that's usually done very, very quickly after you would enter their program. Once those steps are complete, then that's when we move into phase 2, the immigration phase, and hand it over to Olga and her team. Then there's the immigration application phase. Once the immigration application phase is done, our team would then kick off the project and begin doing the work. Usually the PR applications can be made within a few months of getting the letter of support. Our team is typically going to pause for 6 months after letter of support before we start. That just gives enough time, enough buffer time to ensure the PR applications there's time to do those things. The letter of support is valid for 6 months. And so typically what we will do is once the letter of support is issued, we will then plan a project kickoff of 6 months later, giving the time required for the immigration piece. And then we kick off our project, and this is the 1.5 years. So we have an 18-month project where our team is going to get engaged with you. We're going to do a whole variety of things on the business. And most importantly, we're going to document and progress report every single thing we do, because when the government comes back and asks us for that later in the process, we can present them with a huge amount of documentation of work that's been done, showing them the progress of the business over time. And that is what they're looking for, and that's what results with successful clients in this program. Program financial requirements. Perhaps, Olga, I'll flip back to you here to talk about the financial requirements, but I'm available, and Olga is to answer any questions. Before I flip it back to her, I'm just going to stress again that we have a very strong track record of startup visa because we do a couple of things uniquely. We provide the startup concept, so you don't have to bring your own idea. We work with clients at every stage of the process to ensure success. And by doing that, and by doing really good work on each of these projects, we're able to maintain 100% success in both approval of our ideas and approval of PR of our clients. So I'll pause there, and Olga, I'll flip it back to you to talk about the financial requirements.
Thank you, Scott. You're an amazing speaker. So let's talk about financial requirements. Even if there is no official requirements for financial official requirements, there is many parties involved in the process. That's why we have approximate amount you need to spend. It will be spreading for different parties. So it's, this amount includes the services and fees for startup development project, as Scott said already. So it will be project startup development, consulting support, and assistance and receiving letter of support. Also, it includes legal services. When you are ready to apply, we will pass you to immigration professionals, and Canadian immigration lawyer will prepare and submit documents for permanent residence. And if you need work permit, you also can apply for work permit through the same professional for you and for your family. Also, it includes incubator fees, because they don't charging usually, of course, for issuing letter of support, but they charging for educational, the educational platform. They will teach you how to run business in Canada, how to be successful, and they prices sometimes different, so it's also included in the whole amount of fees. And as Scott already said, it's very good to have some amount to show, just to show, not to spend, to show that you have enough funds to develop your project in the future, and you have enough fund for this. So you have to show just some amount. It's depending on the project, if it's small or big one. We can discuss it, but also you have to show small amount proof of funds according to government website. There is a list of fees of amount of money you have to show according to your family members. So, for example, for family of 4, it will be around 24,000 Canadian dollars, but there is a certain amount on the official website. So I explained that generally because each case individual, so we have to look into each situation more deep. And in summary, I would like to say that startup visa program is very good and straightforward way to get Canadian permanent residence. Please contact us to get more information and book individual consultation, and we will analyze your case and find the best option that fits your situation. So thank you very much for watching our webinar, and hope to talk to you later.